Hi everyone, I'm Janelle with Toons Unlimited, and for this video I decided to help a lot of people who would like to draw different outfits for either their character or for some of the characters that comes with the application. And so I have on the stage several characters, and out of all of these, this particular character here is not one that comes with the application. This is a character I actually created for a client, but I wanted to use her body layout as an example. For this tutorial, I'm going to create a shirt, and these are all G2 characters, so I'm going to create a new shirt for one of these characters. But before I get started, I wanted to explain the body layout and the thought process that comes into building a character, especially if you're building a character from scratch, but even if you're building outfits for a character that's already created. But this applies to current characters, new characters. There's always a character design that you need to take into consideration when making a character, when building one for this application, because that determines how the character animates, that determines what people see when his or her body is moving around. So I'm going to give an example. All of the characters that Reallusion has for G2 characters that comes with the application, all of their upper torsos are layered in front of their lower torso. So what I mean by that is when you look at Emma, let me bring in the 2D motion key editor. When you look at Emma, her top is sitting in front of her bottom. Her bottom is nice and round, and because of that, that allows Emma to rotate or bend a little, and it looks more natural. And the same can be said for all of these characters here. They're all built with the upper torso on top, and everything rotates on the lower torso. Now, my particular character is the opposite. For the design, I needed her scarf that's wrapped around her waist. I needed that to always stay in the front, and it shouldn't move with her upper torso, it should move with her lower torso. So in this case, my character's upper torso is round at the bottom, and the lower half is the one that's more flush. And so as a result, let me put her back in the spot. So as a result, she rotates differently from the rest of them. All of these different things have to be considered when you create a character, because the outfits that you pick for them determines how they operate. I'm going to say that again because people don't really understand until they get to the point where they're ready to import their character and it doesn't look the way they want them to look inside the application. So, the outfits that you pick for your characters determines the layering of that character's bone structure, and that layering is what people see when they animate with your characters. When they're sleeveless like this, it's easy. You got 2 points. One of them's going to have the rounded bottom, and one of them's going to have the solid color. That's kind of simple to remember. But then you go with something that's a little bit more complicated, and you say, okay, well, which one should be rounded? If I pull this apart, you will see this part of her arm, once again, it's nice and flat. It's not rounded off. But when it connects with this rounded piece, let me go back so you can see it together. You will see that it rotates just fine. And depending on how the mask is set up, she will rotate just fine. She will do everything a regular G2 character can do. Same thing can be said for Cherry. This is her forearm. In this case, she has a very long arm and a short forearm. So the design of the outfit dictates how the character will interact. And for this, because we are going to use the Reallusion's characters to draw a new outfit, I'm going to do a G2 shirt for this tutorial. And since Emma is already with a outfit with her, the upper torso is in front of the lower torso, that's how I'm going to draw the new outfit. That way, when you pop this outfit in, it will already have the same layering as this character. You won't have to do anything but pop it in like you would do any new outfit using the composer, the character composer. So I'm going to pop her in. Now, to get a better understanding of the design and what you need to consider, I'm going to post this manual in the link, and it may be outdated because it's related to Crazytalk Animator 2. However, these are G2 characters, so this portion works for all your G2 characters. These are the things you have to consider. The open and close chart is by far one of the most important charts to analyze and understand. When building a character, I always go back to it as a reference, because depending on what my character, the way I want my character to look, what the person's wearing, I need to understand how to draw the joints and where they interact. So once again, here are different options with your upper torso. In this case, it looks like it's all one piece. In this case, you can clearly see that the top is in front of the bottom, and in this case, it's the opposite. It's the bottom is in front of the top. Same thing with the arms. There's options for when it's a solid long sleeve shirt. There's options when, you know, she might be wearing a glove or some sort. And then there's an option when there's short sleeves. All of these different body parts have to be drawn in the correct pieces. And this tells you how to draw them. If you analyze which one's parent, like which one's in front and which one's in the back, it would tell you, okay, if you are drawing an outfit where the upper torso's in the front, it lets you know the layering sequence. Right here is the child is the back. So the upper torso should be in the back, and the parent is the front. The lower torso should be in the front. In this situation, it will let you know the child, upper torso's in the back, the parent, lower torso's in the front. Same thing with the arms, whether you're going sleeveless, short sleeves, long sleeves, they're all here, and they will tell you which parts you're dealing with. So in this case, you're dealing with hands and forearms. Arms have nothing to do with it. It's just the hands and forearms and how they are supposed to connect. The same thing with the lower half. Oh my, I'm going to assume this is some type of shorts. But with the lower half, you know, whether you're dealing with a skirt, shorts, boots, it's all here for you to analyze and understand how you should draw your characters. And it's really critical into why your character looks unusual or behaves incorrectly, or why you can't figure out how to get that joint mask line hidden. It's because you drew it incorrectly. So this is just a quick understanding of character designs for Crazytalk Animator 2 and what you need to consider for the outfit. So I suggest first draw a outfit. You know, whatever outfit you want, go ahead and draw it up as one whole piece, and then look at what you've drawn You know, if you know, okay, the pants is in the front, when you start to break them up in pieces, you know what parts go where, you know what you need to add and change to make this work. So now that we have an understanding of the open and close chart, we can go back to this character design. And like I said, I will post that link in the reference material in the description below so that you will have that website link to go to and refer to on your own. But in this case, we are going to build a new outfit for Emma. So I'm going to go ahead and clear off the rest of these characters. Let me just go ahead and delete Emma. Now, anyone who has the Crazytalk Animator pipeline version knows that it comes with the body template of a guy. It comes with what's his name, Saul. As a matter of fact, let me find him. It comes with this dummy template, and that's great for him. You know, he's nice and naked, and so you can then begin to draw the clothes over top of his body frame. You'll have the same dimensions, so when you import it in, you know, it's easy to find an outfit for him. However, they didn't give us any female outfits. I mean, any female body template. And that's probably why there's not a lot of female characters in the marketplace or the content store. Not unless you're building it from scratch. So I'm gonna use Emma for this tutorial because I think a lot of people would like to get more female outfits going on. And the way we're going to do this, because we don't have a body template for Emma, so we need to create one. And I'm going to use Emma as my reference. I'm going to blow this one up a little bit bigger so we can see it. And then I'm going to make copies of her. Now, if you don't have a body template, but you want to use a body template, in this case, I'm only going to focus on her arms and her upper torso because I'm going to create shirts, and I probably will have her with a long sleeve shirt on. So the first thing I want to do is just get her body nice and wide because I want to make sure the length matches up. And to be honest, you just need one side. The other side does not matter. The hands do not matter. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take Emma into the composer mode, and I'm going to delete all of her body parts except the upper torso and except the arms because that's what I want to draw. Now, of course, you would not save this. You would not want to write over Emma. We're using copies. We're going to save it as a totally different name, but we're going to use her body as a template. So I'm going to go through now and just start deleting all of these pieces because we will not need anything but the upper torso and the arms. Okay, so now that we have the body parts completed, you see that even though we have this small piece, it's your reference dot is still way down here. It's using this to rotate her whole body. And the reason why that is like that is because when she was a full character, the dot was down here at the bottom. What we're going to do so we don't have all of this space is we're going to get that dot right up here at the center, so when you start making copies of her upper torso, you won't have to deal with all of this space. So I'm going to go back into composer mode and I'm going to show you how to do it. Simply select her upper torso and where the Y is at, bring it to 0, and that will now bring it way down here. Again, the joints and stuff doesn't matter. Right now, we just want a nice template of her body. So let's go back out. And now you're seeing this the footprint is much smaller. So before I get started, I'm going to make one copy real quick because we can get this a little smaller. I'm going to use one of these as my upper torso reference and another one as my arm reference. So I'm going to go back in. And now I can delete the upper torso for this and just keep the arm. So now I have an arm reference, which I'm going to put over here in the corner. And I'm going to go back into this one. And I'm going to delete the arms on this. And now I have an upper torso. So at this point in time, you have an upper torso and you have a good reference. This is all you really want to see. You want to see what's her body dimensions, what's her shape, so that I can create more outfits that complements it. So now I'm going to, there's 10 angles, right? So we're going to copy this 9 times. So we have 9 versions of the upper torso. And actually, because she's a symmetrical character, we're not even going to copy it 10 times. I think we just really need about 7 copies of her outfit, maybe even less than that. But we'll determine it after we get started. So we're going to start with 6, and then I'll grab additional copies as needed. So we have the 0-degree angle. We're going to rotate it and bring it down. Now we have the 315. Rotate it, bring it down. And now we have the side angle. We have the back angle. Well, that's not the back. What degree is that? That is the 225 angle. And we need the back angle. Okay, so we have the back angle. And I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to rotate him so that his head bends down, because I want the top angle and I'm going to make one more copy. And I'm going to flip his body the other way around because I want the bottom angle. So all of these views make up the 10 angles for Emma. If you wanted the other side of this, you just need to flip it. So we only need to draw it once, unless we're drawing an outfit that might have a logo or a tag, something different about it. The main thing to keep from this, to understand what this is, it's still the same shape. So whether you draw it on the left or the right and you add something different to it, you want to maintain the same body shape. So we have the upper torso, and I'm just going to move this arm out the way because what I want to do now is just zoom in on the screen so we have a nice close-up of her shirts, because we want to use that as our upper torso template. So we just basically created the template. So I'm going to now highlight all of these angles. Hopefully I have them all. And if you want to do a quick screenshot of something in front of you, you can go to Render, Quick Capture, Transparent PNG. This will allow you to then, let me bring up Adobe Animate. This will allow you to then just take it into Adobe Animate and hit paste. We still caught a piece of the arm, but won't matter. We have a nice template, and now we can begin to use that as our base layer. And we're going to make this, I'm going to go to Properties, and I'm going to make this 50% transparent so that when we draw, we can easily now see the body frame structure for each one of these angles, and we can start to draw on top of it. So that is her upper torso. Let's bounce back real quick. We don't want to shrink them because we just want to make everything the same size. We do want to now go to the arm and zoom in. I'm going to do two things. I'm going to get the arm length as one whole piece, and then I'm going to break it up for the arm and forearm, so when I take a picture of how it should look, I know how to draw my joints. So first thing is to take it just like this. We do a quick capture and go back to Adobe Animate. And we still got some room on the screen, so I'm going to paste the arm over here. There we go. Okay, so there's the arm. And the last thing we need is them in pieces. So let's go back into the motion key editor and let's separate them. And it can be side by side, doesn't matter. We want the right length when we are drawing the character. So we can close this and do one more screen capture. Go back to Adobe Animate. And so now we have our arm and forearm, and this is how it looks as a whole. And then one more thing I like to do if I'm going to use her as a template, because I want to be able to just instantly see how she looks without having to import her into the application first, I want a picture of just Emma by herself. So one more. And I'm going to paste her here. So now I have a nice picture of Emma. And what I might do is just go ahead and kind of blow her up. Let me zoom in to that space. I'm going to kind of blow her up so that she matches up with the outfit, so I won't have to resize anything. It's a little tedious, but it's easier to kind of get this going now. And that's about the exact same height. Pretty close. All right. And if you want to, you can do the same thing with the arms. I'm not going to do it because I think it's, once it's inside of the application, you can shrink it to whatever size you want. The main thing is that if you have the right proportions, it will automatically, you can easily get it to fit back to size. So we have Emma, we have her outfits, and now it's time to get started drawing. Click the link to see part 2 of this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.